Hey everybody, I got a real treat for you today because you're gonna be shocked how quickly this protein sheet pancake comes together, what you can do with it, how big the serving is, and it's got over 30 grams of protein per serving. And here's a sneak peek of just one of them. This is a banana one. Is it on here? Yeah, but when I get closer, then I can't see it. Whatever, it's delicious. B-roll, we'll show it on B-roll. If you guys want a copy of that recipe, I'll leave a link to get it down below. And if you're a vegan who is looking to build muscle, burn fat, get in shape, feel better, be sure to hit subscribe because we put out new videos every week with tips, tricks, recipes, meal plans, and educational videos. I also wanted to say thank you so much to all of you that joined Muscles by Brussels during our launch last week. It's now currently closed, but if you want to get on the wait list, I will leave a link for that down below. Not sure when it's going to open back up again, but we are so pumped. We had well over 100 people join, so our community is that much bigger, and we just want to make sure that everything is going smoothly, everybody's having a great time before we reopen it back up again. So you definitely want to jump on the list for that. So I'll leave that down below too. Without further ado, let's get into it. We're gonna get started by preheating the oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. In a medium bowl, we're going to add 1 1/4 cups of flour of your choice. I'm using all-purpose flour today because that's what I have, but oat flour would be awesome in here as well. Then we're going to add a cup of vital wheat gluten, and that's what's going to make this recipe a protein pancake. Next, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of sugar. You could skip this if you want to, but I feel like it adds a little something to the recipe. And we're going to be using baking powder here, and we're going to use 1 1/2 tablespoons. Yes, tablespoons, not teaspoons. You're going to be like, wow, that's a lot of baking powder, and it is, but it makes this recipe work, so make sure you use it. And 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now we're going to mix this all together very well, all the dry ingredients. It's really important that you mix this as well as possible because if you don't, when we add the wet ingredients, you're going to get lumps of gluten, and nobody wants a seitan pancake, I'm just saying. Now I like to just use my Pyrex measuring cup for this because everything fits in it, but you could use a small bowl as well. So first I'm going to fill it up to the 2-cup line with my unsweetened soy milk, and then I'm going to add an additional 1/3 cup of soy milk to that. From here, I'm going to add 1 1/2 tablespoons of vinegar. I'm using white vinegar, but you could use any kind of vinegar, or you could even use lemon juice if that's all you have. And this is what's going to turn the soy milk into something closer to a buttermilk. And then right in the same measuring cup, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of oil. Again, if you're whole food plant-based, you could skip this part if you wanted to, but I do feel like it enhances the recipe. I don't like to just add oil to my recipes willy-nilly. I only add them if I think they actually make it significantly better. Then I'm going to use a teaspoon of this vanilla bean paste that I used in my ice cream recipe, but you could also just use a teaspoon of vanilla extract. We're going to mix that together right in the cup, and you can see it start to thicken as I mix it together. That's the vinegar interacting with the soy milk to make a thicker, creamy buttermilk. From here, we are going to pour all of the wet ingredients right into the bowl of dry ingredients, and we are going to mix this gently. I'm using a large wooden spoon. It doesn't really matter what you're using. I wouldn't use a whisk on this one though. But you want to make sure that you're mixing it gently to mostly get rid of the dry pockets, but you want this thing to be ugly when you are done with it. It is not going to look like a smooth cake batter at all. It's going to look like a bit of a lumpy mess, and that is what we want. So if you over mix this, it's going to get tough and chewy and flat, and it won't be fluffy at all. So you have to mix it just enough. So I wanted to show you guys what the texture of this looks like when it is perfectly mixed. But the takeaway is it will be ugly. And when it's ugly, but not full of dry spots, you've done it correctly. Now I'm going to use a cookie sheet. Mine is 12 inches by 16 inches, but you could also use an 11 inch by 14 inch. That would work as well. It would just be a thicker pancake, but this is what I've got. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to use a big old sheet of parchment paper, big enough to cover the whole thing and come up a little bit on all of the sides. And then I'm going to crumple that thing up into a tiny little ball and open it back up, because if you just try to lay it in there flat, it's going to curl back up. It's a pain. So this is my little hack for that. And we're going to put it in there and press it right up to the edges. We do not need to spritz this with cooking spray, but we are going to dump all of our batter out. I like to put it in like 4 or 5 spots to help make it a little bit more even when I'm spreading it out, but I'm also going to grab a rubber spatula to get every last little bit out of that bowl before I start to smooth it out a bit. Take your time with this part, the spreading it out to the edges, because you want it to be as even as it can be in the center, up to the corners. I had a hard time because I was trying to film it and I didn't want to just keep spinning it and screwing up the shot. But make sure that you take your time with this so you don't have any spots that are really thin or really thick, and it's roughly even all the way up to the edges. Now here comes the fun part, is the topping. So you could cover the whole sheet in one topping, but I decided to do 4 different ones so we could try them out a bunch of different ways. So I'm doing 1/4 of the pan as mini chocolate chips, 1/4 of the pan as bananas, 1/4 of blueberry, and 1/4 of strawberry. And once that's done, we are just gonna pop it in the oven at 425 degrees Fahrenheit for 18 minutes, but I'm putting it on the top shelf in my oven so the bottom doesn't get cooked too much. When it comes out of the oven, the top is still gonna look pretty pale, but that's okay. Give it just a couple of minutes to cool off in the pan, and then you can cut this up into servings. So this recipe makes 4 large servings that are each 360 calories, 39 grams of carbohydrates, 8.5 grams of fat, and 31.8 grams of protein. Now this does not count the toppings because what you put on yours is gonna be up to you. So when you're doing this, make sure you account for those. Rad. Okay, death chair. I always give 𝐬𝐿𝐫𝐞 the death chair. Just so you guys can see, that's what the death chair looks like. So I woke up this morning preparing to make this video. Oh, that's blank, that's on, right? That's blue?
It's blue.
Yeah, okay. I woke up this morning ready to make this video for you guys, but what I didn't know was that my mother was gonna be here when I woke up, which was such a pleasant surprise. And also 𝐬𝐿𝐫𝐞 is kicked out of the video now. So, that's why I give the death chair to 𝐬𝐿𝐫𝐞, because I sit back in it. Attack just like literally hit me in the butt. I need a new chair. Okay, so what do we have here? We have sheet cake pancakes. So if you guys are familiar with my Lazy Girl protein pancake recipe, which I know Mom is, she makes it all the time. It's a version of that, but instead of standing over the stove and flipping it, you just make it in a sheet pan, put whatever toppings you want on it for everybody, and then you don't have to flip it or watch it. You could make it all one flavor, you can make it all different flavors. For funsies, I made it different flavors, but the macros that I calculated do not count the toppings because I don't know you, I don't know your life, I don't know what you want to put on your pancakes, so make sure you add that in separately. But each serving, which is massive, it's 1/4 of the whole sheet pan.
That's huge.
Yeah, so you could have this be 8 servings instead of 4 and then it wouldn't be so huge, but for a whole 1/4, it's 360 calories, 39 grams of carbs, 8.5 grams of fat, and 31.8 grams of protein.
Peanut butter in the middle.
That would be good.
That would be really good.
The macros wouldn't be as good.
No.
Oh, this one's already chocolate chips and powdered sugar, so the macros are probably not outstanding on that one anyway. All right, which one do you want to try first?
I'm gonna try that one.
Of course you are.
No.
I want to try the strawberry one because it's melting.
Okay.
Imminently.
Okay.
God, I love whipped cream. Anything I eat with whipped cream is just a vehicle to get whipped cream into my mouth.
You could actually put ice cream.
Cheers.
𝐬𝐿𝐫𝐞 would like the ice cream.
Cheers.
It's good, right? It's very good.
I mean, it's not super warm anymore because I had to photograph it like 5 times, but.
Just leave it on the lights for a minute. It'll be warm.
See, okay, tell them, this is why I always look sweaty. I'm not a sweaty person, guys. These lights are really hot. Right?
Yeah, it's very good though.
All right, I want to say this one's my favorite already, but
All right,
I only tried brunch. See, you didn't know you were coming over for brunch.
I didn't.
And this is with chocolate sauce on it. So I cooked it for 18 minutes, but on the top shelf of my oven, because if I cooked it a little lower, the bottom got a little bit too cooked. So I would say put it on the top shelf.
I like this one better than that one.
Yeah, that one's really good, right?
Yep.
It's a whipped cream. I'm not really a huge fan of banana pancakes in the first place, but I know a lot of people like them. The kids like them. This is blueberry and maple, or you could use a sugar-free maple.
All right, I'm digging in.
That one is chocolate, so.
It's delicious. I still think that one's my favorite though.
All right, let me try this one. Oops. Rogue blueberry. It is mini chocolate chips, so they're just kind of like sitting on the top. You could use bigger ones, but I figured it would like spread better that way. This one you could like, I feel like you could take it with you as a snack.
Oh yeah.
Because it's not drippy.
It's not messy. Yeah. You can cut it into little pieces and put it in a bag for kids.
1, 2, I think they're tied for 2. Banana.
I didn't try that one yet.
Go for it. Get the top one because it's got the syrup on it. Does it weird you out that a bunch of people are gonna watch you eat?
Okay.
Weirds me out. It still weirds me out. What do you think?
I still rank them that way. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, all right, interesting. Well, I hope you guys like this. If you give it a try, let me know what kind of creative toppings do you guys come up with it. I can think of a bunch of other ones off the top of my head that you could also do that would be a lot of fun. But even if you had a house full of people you had to feed, you could also just make several sheet pans of this and put them all in the oven at once. Because pancakes are a pain to make for a lot of people.
Yeah, and then you let people pick their own toppings.
Yeah. Don't forget that if you want to be on the waiting list for Muscles by Brussels, next time it opens up, be sure to leave your email down below. And if you're looking for any kind of one-on-one coaching, that's what we do here at Vegan Proteins. That's what we've been doing since 2008. We have helped over 2,000 vegans get in the best shape of their life, and we would love to help you. Cat hair. We would love to help you on that journey as well. So go ahead and fill out an assessment down below. You'll hear back from one of the coaches within a business day. And if you liked the video, please don't forget to like the video, subscribe, hit the bell, all the things I'm supposed to tell you to do at the end of a YouTube video, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.